YouTube friends, today I am going to be making some homemade pizza, and I thought I would take you guys along and show you what maybe slightly unconventional pizza toppings I'm going to use. In one of my previous What's for Dinner videos, which I'll link to at the end of this video and maybe put in the description box, I tried some homemade pizza pockets and the dough from that was really good, so I'm going to try using it in homemade pizzas. So I already have 4 cups of just all-purpose flour in the KitchenAid mixer bowl, and to that we are going to add 1.5 teaspoons of salt, and we are also going to add 1.5 tablespoons of yeast, which I just keep in a mason jar in the fridge. And then we are going to do 3 tablespoons of olive oil. So I'm going to do that while this is actually already mixing. Now, the recipe does call for you to do this in a food processor, but to be honest, that's just not something I want to pull out and dirty up, so simply because it's in the pantry. So I'm going to go ahead and do this just right in the stand mixer, and I did do the dough in the stand mixer the last time and it worked out just fine, so I'm going to go ahead and do that again. Don't mind children running past while I'm filming. And then we're going to go ahead and drizzle in 1.5 cups of warm water. So now that we've already got the olive oil in there and it's sort of pulsed in is what the recipe calls for you to do, we're going to go ahead and slowly drizzle in the warm water. Now the recipe does not give a specific water temperature, so I just did what felt warm to my hand. And then we're just going to go ahead and let the machine run until the dough pulls away. I'll link to this recipe for you guys down below. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put the dough into a greased bowl. So what I usually do is I will just pull my dough out of this bowl, grease this real quick with some olive oil, and then put the dough right back in there because I like to save dishes. So my dough has just come together pretty darn well, so you can see. And I'm just going to pull this out, plop it on a plate really quickly. I had to add just a smidge more water because it wasn't quite coming together as it was. So we're going to do just a little bit of olive oil in here. And I'm just going to smear that around with my fingers. I suppose I could take this off of my stand maybe when my hands are not greasy mess. And I'm going to go ahead and put my dough right back into the bowl to let it rest. Alright, so I'm just going to cover it with a kitchen towel, and I'm going to set it on my stove top right over here. There's a light there, and I feel like that light just tends to heat it up just enough to help it rise. I'm going to let it double in size, and then we'll roll it out and make pizza. While I'm waiting for my crust to rise, I already thinly sliced a little bit of orange bell pepper to top our pizza with. I also sliced up some prosciutto, which we're going to add to the very top of the pizza so that it can crisp up while it's in the oven. And then I also shredded some Fontina cheese. I did get the prosciutto in my Imperfect Foods box, and I also got the Fontina in my Imperfect Foods box. And I love this thing from IKEA. If they still have it, I'll try and link it for you guys. But it's a cheese grater, and then the bottom is a storage container, and there's a lid. So you can literally grate your cheese and then put the lid on it and stick it in the fridge for later. So I think that's super duper handy, and I really enjoy it. So the Fontina that I'm using is Mama Francesca's Fontina cheese, and it doesn't say exactly how much cheese. There was no weight on the packaging, which I thought was kind of weird. And then this is the La Cuisera. Don't come for me if I'm pronouncing that wrong. And it's prosciutto, and this one is from Iowa. So just thought I'd share that with you. I'm going to make a little bit of I don't want to say like a dressing, but sort of. I'm going to do like an infused olive oil, I guess is what I'm trying to say here. So instead of doing tomato sauce on the more grown-up pizza, I'm going to use an olive oil or a white garlic sauce. So I'm going to use olive oil. And then I have some minced garlic in the jar. You could use garlic powder or fresh, whatever you have on hand. I'm just sort of creating my own recipe here as I go. So I'm gonna put a big, huge heaping scoop of that in my bowl. And then I'm gonna add a pinch of red pepper flake and a little shake of Italian seasoning. And that's just gonna hopefully flavor my pizza and keep it from drying out, but not using tomato sauce. So this is what it looks like. And I'm just gonna quickly stir that up so that it can really start to flavor the oil while the crust continues to rise, or the dough, I should say. All right, I'm gonna roll that out and then I'll show you what I'm topping these pizzas and how they look. Here is what the dough looks like after it has risen for about an hour and a half. The recipe says hour and a half to 2 hours, so looking pretty good to me. So my oven is currently preheating to 450, and I'm gonna go ahead and make the kid-friendly pizza first. And I'm just using a jar of marinara sauce. This is the Rao's homemade marinara sauce. I got this at Costco. I think this sauce is really, really good. So I don't mind opening a jar of spaghetti sauce. We'll just have spaghetti later in the week to use up the jar. And if I don't, I will freeze it. I actually do freeze spaghetti sauce right in the jar sometimes. So here's a big hunk of tomato. The kids won't eat that. I know that. Do your kids eat hunks of tomato, or do they find that that's like just completely unacceptable to them? So I'm just going to use the spoon, spread the sauce around, you know the drill. And then this one I'm just going to top with fontina, and I do also have a bag of mozzarella cheese that was in my fridge, so we're going to use that up as well. Alright, set that to the side. Jar off to the side, so I just have some Target Good and Gather brand mozzarella, and then I'm going to also use some of the fontina. Now, I could potentially maybe do a quarter of this pizza with some of the prosciutto, because I do think I have more than enough for my other pizza. So I might do that so that I can see how the prosciutto and fontina taste with good old-fashioned classic tomato sauce on the bottom of your pizza. I am going to reserve just a little bit of the mozzarella to go on the other pizza as well. And then I'll grab the grated fontina and put just a little bit of that on top to give it some different flavor. I really like fontina. It's actually really good in pasta, like if you're doing like a pasta cheese sauce also. Can you tell I just really like carbs and cheese together, especially in Italian form? Alright, get some of this cheese a little closer to the edges here. And my oven just finished preheating, so I'm going to go ahead and get this one right into the oven, and we'll do just a few pieces of prosciutto right here. And like I said, just on a quarter so as not to offend any delicate palates. Now the pizza pockets that the dough recipe is from, it calls to bake them for 12 to 15 minutes. So I'm going to set the timer for 12 minutes, or actually I already did. And we'll see how the pizza looks after 12 minutes, and maybe I'll leave it in a little longer if we need to. Alright, so now we're going to use the olive oil sauce that had the garlic and herbs in it. Give that one more quick stir. I'm just going to drizzle that around. Be a little more rustic with this pizza. So, do you guys ever have pizza with white sauce and like chicken and tomatoes and spinach, that kind of thing? That's really good too. I even like broccoli on pizza, but maybe I'm just a weirdo. I think we're going to use all of it actually. Okay, and then I just have a silicone pastry brush, so I'm just going to go ahead and use that to spread the garlicky sauce around. Now, of course, if you didn't do this ahead of time, you could totally just drizzle olive oil, do a little garlic salt, Italian seasoning, and red pepper flake, and probably get a similar result, I would think. Or it'd be even better if you had the time to roast fresh garlic and then puree it. That would be delicious. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and do some of the orange bell pepper. I love bell peppers on pizza, sauteed, whatever. They're a personal favorite. So I'm gonna go ahead and use all these. And I did thinly slice them so that they would cook pretty well. I still want them to have a little crunch, but. So there's that. And then I'm gonna use a little bit of the fontina. If you had fresh tomatoes, you could totally just do chopped fresh tomatoes. And I bet that would be really good. If you had spinach, yum. All right, I'm gonna reserve a little bit of that because I really want more fontina flavor in my cheese. Can you tell it's really packed in there from when I from when I shredded? All right, let's spread that around to see how it does. Oh yeah. I'm getting excited about this pizza. All right, and then we're gonna go ahead and top with the prosciutto, and my goal, we'll see if it happens that way, but my goal is that the prosciutto will crisp up. So we shall see. I absolutely love prosciutto wrapped asparagus, is really good. Do you guys like prosciutto, and what do you eat it on? Do you just eat it plain? I would love to know. I've also seen it done with like honeydew melon or cantaloupe wrapped with prosciutto. I think I'm just going to use the rest of it. We'll see. Hopefully that won't end up being too much. Hopefully it will shrink and be the perfect amount. All right. And then here is the lid that I was talking about with this cheese grater. That is what it looks like, and you can just pop it in the fridge.
Guys, make sure to like and subscribe and hit the bell.
And here are what our pizzas look like. So here is the kid-friendly pizza with mostly cheese and tomato sauce and one small section of prosciutto. And here is how the other pizza turned out with the bell pepper, the fontina, and the prosciutto. They're looking pretty good, and there's a nugget back there. All right, let's go ahead and give these a try. Hey, River, what's this? Come here. Want to say hi, friends?
Hi.
What is this?
Hi, pizza.
That's pizza. You say hi, friends.
Pizza, the pizza.
It's the pizza.
Pizza.
All right, so here is the up-close pizza glamour shot. The crust looks good and fluffy, and now the true test is how it tastes. Oh yeah, definitely the garlic olive oil sauce is delicious, and I can definitely taste the bell pepper and the prosciutto. This was a win for sure, guys. I will leave the crust recipe linked down below if you guys want to try it out, and the rest is just what you saw me do. We'll go ahead and show you the kiddos tour of my messy kitchen. All right, guys. How's the pizza? What?
You're going to make this again.
Oh yeah? Hold on, lighting, let's see. There we go. How is it, River? Do you like the pizza?
No.
Well, honesty from the 2-year-old. Liam, what do you think? Good? Oh, and there's Voldemort sitting on the chair. Hey, Voldemort. What do you think? Oh, now you got down. Hold on. Kitty. Say hi. Kitty, say hi. Yeah. Nope. Quit moving from the camera. Hi, buddy. And that is Lord Voldemort, ruler of the household. All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and ring the bell, just like the kid said. And I will be talking to you and cooking with you again soon. Bye, guys.